How's it going, everyone? My name is Meister, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about Ruby Amethyst versus Emerald Steel. Emerald Steel has been one of the most annoying decks to deal with in Disney Lorcana Set 4. Bucky has been a menace, causing problems in the current meta, making the matchup a one-sided fun for some players. A lot of players are convinced that Emerald Steel is dominant in this matchup, and I completely disagree. I think more of this matchup as a 50-50 and can easily go in anyone's favor depending on the opening hand and what they draw afterwards. Here's why. If Ruby Amethyst doesn't draw any brawls or draw cards or even tech like Teeth and Ambitions to specifically target
Diablo,
the Ruby Amethyst will have a hard time, while Emerald Steel is very reliant on finding Bucky, or else the deck will feel like a weak mid-range version of Steel Song or Purple Steel. The easiest way to go about it is that Brawl beats Diablo and Dross beats Bucky. Green Steel is also in a timer since they can't allow Ruby Amethyst to ink up to 7. Once the game reaches late game, Ruby Amethyst is heavily favored in the matchup. There are multiple ways to win this matchup. There are some pressure points you need to find in some situations as well in case you don't find Brawl or your draw cards, especially the rabbits. First, let's talk about the mulligan phase. Here's my current version of Ruby Amethyst. The ideal opening hand against this matchup is Chernobog's Followers, Mimsnake, Maleficent or Sisu, Friends on the other side, Brawl or Teeth and Ambitions, and Merlin Rabbit. Chernobog's Followers is a nice opening target for Madam Mimsnake. Think of Madam Mimsnake as a shift plus 1 draw. Then Maleficent is the ideal turn 3 play over Sisu that can give you a draw and sing Friends on the other side. Sisu isn't bad either, especially it can survive Let the Storm Rage On if you weren't going second and there was no Ursula Deceiver of all in play. From there, you want to spam more draws with rabbits to make sure that you reach turn 7 with 7 inks and some extra cards in hand, preferably with a Be Prepared. Lastly, if the opponent plays a Diablo, you need to brawl it right away. Now, we always aim for that opening hand, but of course, we don't always get it. If this hand isn't available, another good curve for us is an aggressive thick curve. As much as possible, we don't really want to play Flynn Rider in this matchup. It's an easy target for so many ping removals for Green Steel. But with worst case scenario, curving into Flynn then Sisu isn't the end of the world. There are matches where I try to aggressively race my opponent with this curve whenever I don't find my ideal curve. You then follow up this play with a goat or a queen's castle, depending on the board state. The truth is, Green Steel sucks against locations, especially if they don't find a hidden cove to buff their characters. And most likely at turn 4, they won't have one, or if they do, their board state won't be that great, which means you can buy time for late game, which is the goal. I'm sure by now you're getting the idea of how the matchup goes and how to win it. It's definitely a tough one for sure, but not impossible. To simplify things sometimes, the easiest way to remember how to win it is brawl and draw. Let's take it to late game where my control side shines the best. A lot of things can go wrong sometimes, and it all depends on the current board state and cards in your hands where you have to make an alternate decision and pivot to a different plan to deal with the situation. It is important to find and identify these situations, and it all comes with experience. The more you play against this matchup, the easier it is to identify and find the pressure points. But also, at the end of the day, having a plan is important and you don't always have to stick to it. But having a sense of direction can help you a lot to navigate your way to victory. I always advise my viewers on Twitch how important a simple fundamental principle in card games are. The basic rock, paper, scissors that aggro beats control, control beats mid-range, and mid-range beats aggro can go a long way. And once you understand that you can even see that some aggro can have mid-range aspects to it, or mid-range can have heavy control aspects to it, or control can have mid-range aspects to it. Overall, the current version of Ruby Amethyst has all the main archetypes aspect to it. At the end of the day though, once control is added to the deck, it will mainly be classified as a control deck. But again, it's important to understand that it has the other aspects of other main archetypes to it, and that makes this deck so flexible. Use those aspects in every matchups and learn how to utilize which side of the deck is needed to win certain games. Against Emerald Steel, the mid-range control aspect of the deck is the most reliant tool you can use to win matchups. but don't underestimate its aggro side, as it can be useful against this matchup too, against certain situations. If you guys learned something from this video or just enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like, subscribe, bell button, and don't forget to comment down below your thoughts as well. If you have any more tips, let us know, or just leave an emoji, because it helps. Other than that, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace!